Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I haven't really been putting too many videos out recently, which I apologize for. I've been super busy with writing and pitching some film projects and TV projects to a couple of companies, so I've had to spend a lot of time working on those. But as part of that, right now I'm working on a short film. And there's an app that I came across when I recently watched one of David S. Sandberg's videos about gear and tools and him talking about it doesn't really matter what you use. But he pointed out an app that I'd never really heard or seen before called Storyboarder, which is a free storyboarding app. And so what I wanted to do today is show you a little bit about that program because I started using it and I gotta say it's really powerful. As I said, it's completely free, and this of course isn't a sponsored video or in any way. I just want to share a tool that I think is really cool. And if you're like me and you can't really draw, this is perfect because it has some really interesting tools that you can utilize without ever having to touch any of the drawing tools. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Storyboarder website made by Wonder Unit and give them an email address, and they will send you a download link, and then you can actually just download and install the app. Super easy. So when you open it, you're introduced with a splash screen that either says getting started, open, or create new storyboard. Getting started will take you to the FAQ or tutorial part of the website. Open just means if you're importing and saved a storyboarder project file from a different place, you can open it here. Or create a new storyboard, which will let you create either a blank storyboard or you can actually import a script, and it will show you the script while you're storyboarding. It then asks you about what aspect ratio your project's going to be in. And then we have the main interface, which is super simplistic. But what we have at the top is we have some drawing tools. You can change the color of the different drawing tools here as well. So if you hover over it, like most other programs, it will show you the different types. You can even do some basic image editing, like using lasso tools and moving stuff. These are what are called reference layers. So you're drawing on a reference layer, and you can just clear that and get rid of it. So if you are drawing on top of anything, you can get rid of it. I haven't been using the drawing tools very much, and I will show you why right now. They have this thing called shot generator, where if you click on this area here, this 3D grid, it brings you into a new window, and it brings you into a 3D environment. And so you can actually move around and set cameras, and you can even see in the top here, it gives you a floor plan, which is super cool because let's say let's add a character. Here we go. And now you can see it shows the character here. And let's add an object. They'll add the object here as well. And it has the movement tools over here in the properties. You can just move it around. You can change the width, change the depth and height, things like that. It even says drop to floor, so it intersects properly with the floor if you want to make walls. But this is really cool because this allows you to then, if you want to, you can view a top-down thing, and you could actually create a floor plan. So if you're trying to do lighting or anything like that, or just very rudimentary production sets about how the camera is going to move, you can do that. You can actually access this, take a screenshot of this and use it. I don't know if you can export it. As I said, I've only been using it for a day, but this is just a first impression showing you what you can do with it and what you can kind of pick up really quickly. So you can actually do a floor plan, and you can even do things where you can add lights, and they come in labeled, and you can rotate them. So you can actually do some basic lighting as well. And the best thing is if you have a camera, the way that I've been doing this is, you see here, if you middle mouse scroll, what it's actually doing is it's kind of zooming the camera rather than moving the camera. And you can move the camera with the WASD, like so. Middle mouse wheel will zoom in and out and change the focal length. If you use the right mouse button, it will let you rotate. It's a little weird because it's kind of inverted, at least in my mind, where you move in the direction that you want to go. I'm always used to if I want to go left, I'll move it to the right. So it took me a little getting used to. Maybe it's just the way that I have my stuff set up. And left mouse wheel is kind of nodal pan. So as if the camera's on tripod, you kind of nodal around. And then if you click the middle mouse button, you can actually pan around and everything. You're still moving the camera. So what I like to do is I like to get my focal range in place, set the camera where I want it to be, and then I actually lock the camera and add a new one. And that way, what I can do is I can use this second camera to work on my posing and like work on where I'm going to put things, and I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll render it from this one, and you just click on it and it'll jump to that, which is really nice. So I use camera to do that. So what you probably saw with the character is it has this skeleton. And so what you can do is you can actually pose and move the character like so. And it seems at first like you can't really do much with it, but you can actually pose all of these bones. Like I can click on this bone and I can rotate the hand in any of the directions if I want something specific. I can click on this on his thumb and bend it. But one of the cool things with this is if you select the character on the left-hand side over here, you can actually choose different preset poses. But you can also do it for the body. So you can do this, freeze, sit down, crouch. You don't even have to necessarily go through and manually pose it unless you want something really specific. You can actually use a lot of the built-in things for that. You can also change the type of model, so you can change it from adult, female, male, teens, children, etc. You can even mirror it, so you can actually flip it, make them dance a little bit. Here you can add some props as well, so you can add a backpack if you want. You can add glasses, just so you can identify the character a little bit more. Add mustaches. But yeah, you can literally pose anything that you want. And even with objects, you can change it to bookshelves, chairs, office chairs. Obviously, it's like super weird because I changed all of the settings. But, there you go. That just fixes it. And then it's the right size. And now you can build out a little office set for it, which is fine. But you can even add things like volumes. So you can add rain. So if you want a really moody thing, so he's crying about his mustache, you can do that. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with this. And then once you hit save, that will save it as the board that you're on. And if you want to make a second one, you can just hit insert as new board. Screen will flash. You close this. And now we have two of the same thing. So the reason I do that is if I change it, if I want to do something different, so in this one, I can then click on it, select it in the bottom left, open up that board, and it'll keep where it was. I could then jump to this camera, save as board, close it down, and now I have that. So now I can do, I could then animate something or draw on top and, say that the camera is going to push in, and then it goes to this one. This looks terrible because it doesn't have any preset, as far as I can tell, preset shapes. But what you can do is if you want to draw something like an arrow, if you actually click and hold, the line will snap to a straight line. And that way you can actually do this a little bit less awful. So yeah, I find that really useful too. One of the great things that this has as well is you can actually export this as a video, and it has a timeline built in. And what you can actually do is slip and slide the length of each of the shots and play them. So you can actually create a video or an animatic from this inside the app, which is really, really cool. A lot of the other stuff that you have on the side here is you can say how long that the shot's going to last, how many frames, any dialogue that's happening on this scene, what the action is. So are they arguing, or they whatever it may be. And then you can add notes here, which I like to put in notes about the camera or just like general things of what's happening, with the camera, if it's moving or whatnot. Apparently another thing you can do inside the shot generator as well is if you have the camera selected, is choose camera angle. You can actually choose from different options here. So you can do bird's eye, high, worm's eye. So you can actually change by like some presets, but you can also change what the type of shot is. And what it's doing is it's not changing the focal length of the camera, but it's just changing how far away the camera is. You can see it's still at 40. So you use the middle mouse wheel to scroll in and out to change your focal length, and then you can actually choose what type of shot that it might be. Use the middle mouse, click in, move it down, and so on. So you can actually use some of these presets, which is really handy if you just want to get somewhere and then choose your focal length. And it probably will help you learn different types of focal lengths too. The last thing that I'll show, other than the timeline, is that you can actually integrate this with Photoshop. But if you go into the settings, you can actually change the app that it opens if you use something different. So I use Infinity Photo. So if I click this, suddenly the board will lock down because you can't change it because it's being made, changes being made in Affinity. And now I can do stuff here, and it shows me all of the layers here that I can do. So if I had the reference shot, so you know where I was drawing the arrows, I can actually delete that, remove it, super easy. I can add to it. I can just paint on that layer, and it will update inside of Storyboarder. The only thing that you need to be aware of for this is even if you're using a different app, you need to export and save the file as a Photoshop file, as a PSD, which Affinity will let you do. That's the only way that the app Storyboarder will read in those changes. That's the only stipulation that you need, but I would still save it as the native file as well, just so you have that as a backup, or if you ever want to do stuff outside of Storyboarder. And once you've done that, once you've exported it, it will save, and it will take you back to Storyboarder. And you see now that I can't make any changes on this. Even if I go into the shot generator, it won't update that because it's linking dynamically to the photo app. But you can just double click and do draw in Storyboarder, unlink and draw, and now I can do all that stuff again. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of Storyboarder that I've been using. I really like it. You can go in and add, multiple characters. And then you can just say like they're fighting over the chair in the rain. That's Storyboarder. I recommend it. As I said, it's free. You just use your email. They'll send you a download link and have a play around with it and see what you can come up with. It's pretty cool and it's pretty powerful. It's, can't get better than free. And if you're not a drawer like me, then it makes it super easy with these mannequins you can pose. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.